Good evening, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me wherever you're at in the world. I want to just start off saying I'm very thankful for the opportunity to share and speak with you tonight. My name is Lisa Behrens, and I have been a part of three this past year. It's been an incredible journey. I've had a lot of fun. And honestly, when I came into this industry, I really didn't know a whole lot. So I've enjoyed learning and growing and just having fun with this. So tonight's topic is following up and enrolling. And I, in the past 12 months, have been able to enroll close to 100 people. And it's been really honestly constantly evolving. People coming into the business, people signing up for the products. And again, it's been fun. And I love it, absolutely love it. So I want to lay the foundation here for us before we jump into this topic on following up and enrolling. There's the system. This is one of the very first things that I learned about the system, and I want to kind of just review it quickly. You might be new on here. Maybe you're new to starting like I was a year ago, or maybe you've been doing network marketing for a long time. Reminders are always great. So the system is a four-step process. The first is connecting. You're connecting with someone, you're sharing your story. And then the second step to the system is we invite. We invite people to take a look. It may or may not be a fit. So we're inviting them to maybe a wellness opportunity event, or we're inviting them to a Zoom with an expert, or maybe you're inviting them to have coffee with you. You just want to meet up with them, have a conversation. And then the third part to the system is the follow-up, and the fourth is enrolling. It really is rinse and repeat. I love the system. Like I said, it's one of the first things I learned. The system works. You connect, you invite, you follow up, you enroll. So starting with that follow-up, I have 4 tips that I'm going to share with you, and then I'll talk about enrolling and kind of bring this to a close. I'm going to encourage everyone on here, take notes. I believe knowledge is power, and there's power when we write things down. So take notes. I don't have a PowerPoint presentation here. If you're driving or in a vehicle, that's okay. Take mental notes. But yeah, and there will be a recording on this. So the first tip I have for following up, you've invited them to an event or a Zoom or maybe a coffee conversation, is asking questions. If you've sent a video for them to watch, a great question to ask is, if you've had a chance to watch the video, what did you like best? I love that question. Or maybe you're in a coffee conversation with them, or they've just attended an in-person wellness event. I love to ask, what questions do you have? What questions do you have? So ask questions with the follow-up. Use your tools. We have an incredible back office for $30. It's one of the things I love about this. I signed up $30. I have access to great tools, resources. The marketing's there. It's in place for us. One of the tools that I love to use is the products fact sheet. So what I like to do with that tool is know your audience. What is their communication style? So what I like to do is I like to ask the question, if I were to send you a 23-page product fact sheet or a 2-page product fact sheet, which do you prefer? And then I'll ask the question, do you want me to email you or do you want me to text that? Because everybody kind of has a different preferred method of communication. So using our tools is really helpful in the back office. Another great tool is leading someone to, I call the expert. I work here in the Midwest. My team is Dr. Alicia Clevenger and Holly DeMott, and I have been on countless Zooms with the both of them, with family, with friends. I love to lead people to the expert. We've done a lot of 30-minute Zooms, and that's another tool, is you're inviting them to take a look, and it's someone besides you. Again, you're leading them to the expert. And then I would say with your messaging, know your audience. Be clear, be concise. You don't really have to send a whole lot of information. I call that kind of message dumping. So I don't send, for example, if there's an in-person wellness opportunity event, I invite them to the event. I invite them to take a look. I say, I know it's worth your time to take a look. And then what I'll do is a touch point or a follow-up. I will send them the flyer with the information and the address. So we want to make sure that we know our audience, our communication is very clear with them and concise. I don't know about you, but I don't like really receiving a bunch of information. So send them what they need. What tool do they need next? Is it an invite to a Zoom? Is it an invite to an in-person wellness event? Is it an invite maybe to have coffee? So know your audience, keep your messaging concise. I like to say, if I were to invite you to an in-person wellness opportunity event, would you be available? And then I follow up with them. And if they don't respond, I still follow up with them a few days later. So the follow-up is really essential. And again, keep your messaging clear and concise. I want to talk about another area with follow-up that I think sometimes can be overlooked, and that is when somebody enrolls. So I love it when people enroll. We want them to get started on the products. We know we have the best products. I believe we do. And so we want to do genuine touch points. And that's really, really important. So what I love to do is I take mental notes. Sometimes I write things down. So for example, right now we're going into the holiday season and we don't know where people are at in their journey. For some people, maybe they've lost a loved one. Maybe they have something personal going on in their life. Here's an example. Last week, I learned that a husband and wife, they've been taking the products since this summer. I checked in with them. It had nothing to do with 3. I was just checking in. And I learned that Jeff, the husband, had a mild heart attack in October. And so that was good because I was able to touch base with them. It was very genuine, very authentic. And I was reaching out because I care. And then another person that I reached out to, and I've been inviting her to take a look. Timing is everything. She hasn't been able to take a look because she's going through a divorce right now. And they have kids, and we're going into the holiday season. So follow up with your people and be genuine. Really have those touch points. If somebody comes to your mind, I believe the older I get, follow your instincts. Somebody comes to your mind, reach out like, hey, Nikki, thinking about you today. Hope you're having a great week. So the follow-up is really essential. And one of the tips to following up with them after they enroll is I love to put in my calendar. I love to make a note that they enrolled. I'm following up, they enrolled. And 3 weeks out from when they got the products delivered, I'm reaching out to them and saying, hey, John, hope you're doing great. How are you liking the products? And so that's another way of following up after they've enrolled. I don't like to do it right away, like within the first week of them receiving the products, but I love following up after they've enrolled, checking in on the products because different reasons. One, you're reaching out, you're asking, how do you like the products? How are they working for you? And be positive, keep it super simple. And then the other thing with the follow-up on this is it allows them, to think maybe I'm running out of product. I need to reorder with Lisa. So that touch point helps. Sometimes when I follow up with my people who've enrolled, they haven't even taken the product, or maybe they're not taking it consistently. So again, that follow-up is really, really important, and just reaching out and connecting with people. So just be genuine. It doesn't always have to be about 3, and really intentionally connect with your people. So that's the first kind of tool with follow-up. Know your audience and how to communicate with them. The second tool I would say is timing and consistency matter. Again, timing and consistency matter. So on the timing, it's really important to space out when you're connecting with your people. So for example, I have recently incorporated this into my follow-ups. I do what's called the 1-3-7. So day 1, let's say I see them at a wellness opportunity event. They haven't signed up for products. And then what I'll do is on day 3, I'll make a note of that. And then I reach out to them and I check in. Hey, Susie, or hello, Susie. I'm not a hey. Hello, Susie. I'm checking in with you today. how are you doing? Have you had a chance to look at the video, or have you had a chance to check the products out? What questions do you have? And then I like to follow up on day 7. It might look like this. Hi, Susie. Reaching out to you. I know we're getting ready to go into the holiday season. I just wanted to follow up with you to see if you're available for coffee next week. What is your availability to connect? Are you traveling for the holidays? Again, I'm kind of just checking in with them, but space out the follow-ups because we don't want it to be where we're follow up, follow up, follow up. Like if you open your phone up and let's say you get a message from somebody and you just see message after message after message after message, that can kind of feel maybe a little bit overwhelming, yucky, maybe salesy. So I really do like to space that out. And then timing too is really key. Scheduling things again on the spot with someone. You've had coffee with them or an in-person wellness event. Here's a great example. Last night I was in Chicago and we had an in-person wellness opportunity event. And I was talking to the lady afterwards. I asked, what questions do you have? And she wasn't ready to dive into the products. But what she was ready to do is look at more information. So again, I asked, do you want to receive the 23-page document or the 2? She wanted the 23-page. In addition, she wanted the clinical studies, the epigenetic studies. She's more of a researcher. So then I said, the person who invited you here tonight, she can send you that information. So right on the spot, timing matters. We asked, do you want to receive an email or text? She wanted email. And then the person who invited her followed up with her and they sent the information that she wanted. So again, we want to make sure we're spacing out our follow-up and then our timing matters. Like follow up immediately. You don't want to wait on things. Here's another tip. Promos. I've seen a lot of the promos throughout this past year. And one thing I've learned is you want to reach out to people at the very beginning when the promo's first announced. And there might be several touch points leading up to the promo. A lot of times on the promos, I find myself being up close to 11 o'clock, midnight, right up to the very last second. And so where I'm going with this is you want to follow up with your person, let them know, make them aware about the promo, and then just know in your mind, you might need to have some more intentional touch points. If you send someone a message, you let them know about the promo, you're excited, you can say, this is a great opportunity to take advantage of this promo, to trial new products, or to stock up and or stock up. If they heart or like, or maybe perhaps they don't respond to your message, that doesn't mean that you don't need to follow up again because people are busy, especially this time of year with the holidays, and the text or the email might get buried. So just know when there's promos, you want to continue to follow up, space it out, leading up to the last day of the promo. So the timing and the consistency really does matter. And I believe the follow-up is key on that. The other thing I want to talk about with you here is don't attach yourself to the outcome. Okay, I'm kind of bringing this topic in a little bit more. This has been really a big thing for me to learn this year. Holly DeMott talks about this a lot. Don't attach yourself to the outcome. Don't attach yourself to someone or a person. And what that means is I remember when I first started this a year ago, I made my list. And I just, went through my phone, was thinking about social media connections. So I made my list. In my mind, I thought, well, there's going to be certain people that I know, family or friends, they're going to love the products. I'm going to share this with them. I'm going to connect. I'm going to invite them. I know they're going to love the products. And then in my mind, I thought I had some people on my list, I don't know if they're going to get the products financially. Maybe they just lost their job. I learned really quickly that often what happens is the people that you think will come on, it could be a timing thing, don't come on. And then the people maybe that you think won't come on, do come on. So don't attach yourself to those outcomes. Don't attach yourself to the people. It really is important to hold on loosely with that. And I believe when we're following up with people and we're enrolling people, it's not about us. It's never about us. It's about them. We want to make it about them. So we want to trust the process, and meet people where they're at. That has been one of the biggest things, takeaways for me in 2025. Meet people where they're at. I know it's one thing to know it up here, but it's another thing to put that into practice. And I know, again, network marketing, we're in this industry, we want to earn trips. We want that residual income. We want to earn that rank. Yes, that's fun. That's exciting. That's all important. Set your goals, clear goals. Clarity, provides outcomes. But at the same time, it's not about us. And when we get out of the way and we just meet people where they're at, that's when I find that my business really flows. So don't attach yourself to the outcome. Really key there. The last thing I want to talk about is enrolling. Enrolling, there is an art to this, I believe. Enrolling is really about two things: actively listening and guiding them to make a decision. So you're actively listening. So last night, again, we're at this event in Chicago, and I'm sitting with different people one-on-one after the event. I'm asking, what questions do you have? I'm actively listening. And then my role at that point is I'm guiding them to make a decision. So I always start with the pro pack. The packs do have more cost savings. There is psychology behind starting big. People are going to remember the first thing you say, especially when it comes to money. So I start with the pro pack, and then I go business builder, premium pack, intro pack, and then I talk about the a la carte options. But you want to guide them in making the best decision for themselves. So that's really important to do that. The other thing with enrolling, you want to meet them again where they're at. If they're ready to go, sign them up on the spot. That's one thing I've learned. I was on a Zoom this morning with a couple people on my team. If somebody says, send me your direct link, okay, I do want to honor that. What I often say, if it's a text or a phone call, I'm in conversation, send me your link. I'll say, yes, I can send you my link. Absolutely. Or I'm happy to help you get started. I'm happy to help sign you up. It'll take 5 to 7 minutes. And we can do that over the phone. You can get their information down. They can complete that on an enrollment form. And why I share that piece is because what I find is sometimes when I send my direct link, more often than not, they get busy, right? Maybe their kid needs something, or maybe their spouse, their partner needs something. Maybe there's a sporting game on they want to watch, and they think, oh, I'll just enroll later. And then it doesn't happen. And then you follow up. So I personally, I like to enroll as many of my people as possible because I know it gets done. I can do it quicker. And honestly, really, again, it's not about me. It's getting the products in their body. It's helping them to get started. So that's another little tip with enrolling. And so really just go into the enrollment part, meet people where they're at, and guide them and help them in making the best decision. And then as we talk about follow-up and enrollment, I want to close with this. Follow-up enrollment is a mindset. What do I mean by that? It's a mindset. Here's what I mean. Belief. We need to have belief, yes, in the products, the company, our leadership, and having belief in yourself, who you are. So we believe, we have that belief, and then we lead with confidence. When we lead with confidence, people can feel that. They really can. And believe in your heart. Believe in yourself. And then really be genuinely connect with your people. I don't look at this as sales. I have not looked at this as sales from day one. I love this industry because it's about human connection. I genuinely care about people I'm sharing about 3 with. It's a gift. It's an opportunity for them to have better health, have more time, have more finances, be a part of a great community. So when you put all that together, belief and you're leading with confidence and you are genuinely connecting, people feel that. And I like to say you attract what you put out there is what you're attracting. So put that out there, your beliefs, leading with confidence, genuinely connecting and caring about people. And those are the people you're going to attract to your business. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be on here with you. I hope everybody was able to take notes, at least get one nugget, if not more. I'm in this journey with you. I'm constantly learning and growing, and I absolutely love it. Happy holidays to all of you, and I would love to see you in Fort Worth, Texas for our leadership conference, January 9th through the 11th. Thanks, everybody. Happy holidays. Take care.